Hello, hello. Can you hear
What?
me? Welcome to the live show. Can you guys hear me?
Is,
You can.
is that Druby?
Hello, Mr. T.
Look who it
The one and
is.
only
Mr. T,
father
it is.
father of the year? Father of the
Father
year
of
right
the
there? Oh my
Father of the
goodness.
day. Maybe not yesterday or tomorrow. We'll see.
Oh.
Day by day.
That's how we all feel these days.
Uh,
We got a special guest today. Aside from
ah.
Thomas Taylor, we got Drewby up in here. Little surprise special guest. Drewby was grateful enough to jump on here just to check in, say what's up, and obviously Drewby's infamous alumni, now dad life.
Yep.
But obviously we might have a little appearance from the little one, but it's all
Yeah, I'm
good.
on I'm
Just
on dad duty. She's due any moment.
oh yeah, it's around that time for sure. But yeah, no, we just wanted to get this get this live show going here. Let's just check and see if everybody can hear us. Looks like we got some people joining in here. Um, Thomas, can you hear us okay over there?
Yeah, it's a little choppy in my end. I hope it's not choppy on your end. We are driving through the mountains of Northern California on our way to visit some family. So if it gets choppy or you lose me, I apologize.
It's all good. It is a little like kind of delayed from my end, but obviously you're on the road, so we'll see how things go. And everybody in the chat, just sound off if you can hear us and see us okay. There she is.
What do you think?
Look at that.
What do you think?
How's it
What do we
going,
got?
Drewby? How's she doing?
She's doing well. She's. It's nice being at home with her basically 24/7. Get to see her growing like a weed.
Oh my gosh, it goes by so quick.
I can only imagine. So much
Yeah, I
stuff has
mean,
already happened.
you you hear people say it all the time. It's just it goes by fast and they grow up so quick. Well, you blink your eyes, and next thing you know, you have an 8-year-old who's almost as tall as you are. So,
Yeah.
um, you know, it, definitely cherish every moment, and I think you're doing it right, man. I mean, not a lot of people can be home with their kids and 24/7, and uh, like I said, watch them grow quickly.
I mean, just look at Keith. Keith's already better than Thomas and the Snake.
100%.
Doesn't take much, bro.
Doesn't take much.
Yeah. But he's not as tall as me. That's that. At least I got that going. Got an 8-year-old that's almost outgrown him. So
Yeah, he's gonna be in there for sure, getting all the kills, claiming all
Yep.
your kills because he'll be in the back.
Yep.
perfect, perfect.
Hey, Drewby, you think you could throw in headphones?
Yeah. What you think?
All right. Well, so I think we'll
There we
have
go. Sorry
a
about that.
couple other people jump in as the show goes on. But these infamous live shows, we kind of just decided, you know what, we'll throw it together, make something cool happen, bring some paintball players together. We know we have a lot of infamous fans out there who wish they were out playing paintball and on the grind. We definitely miss the competitive side of it. NXL Texas Open was going to be in 3 weeks, and it's crazy to think that it's not going to happen. And um, so we wanted to put these shows together. They're not going to be super formal. We don't have a whole list of questions and interviews and stuff like that, but we just kind of wanted to talk about current events and see how everybody's doing and how is everybody kind of living the COVID-19 quarantine life. Thomas, you there, bud? He's froze up, huh?
He's still moving.
There he is. I don't know. Well, while Thomas gets that sorted out, it looks like his microphone's muted. There he is.
There he goes. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I muted my mic. I was going through a bad area. I keep going from like full service to one service, so I don't want to mess you up while you're talking. So I'm muting it in between. If I don't respond, it's because I can't hear you. The mountain's won.
You're good right now, bud.
Sweet. All right. What is everybody doing here? Are people watching this at work? Are they watching this at home? Of us, kind of at home in the car. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, I've been working from home for a while, but you know, the addition to the quarantine lifestyle, you know, it hasn't been too crazy for us, you know, at the Rudolph household. My wife's been at home for a while too, as a stay-at-home mom as well, and Caden officially is now doing digital learning from home. It was pretty cool to see the county come together really quick and kind of say, you know what, we're going to send you guys home with these Chromebooks, and you guys are going to do kind of online learning. And you know, they might not have it 100% set up exactly perfect, but you know, they're learning on the fly just like the rest of us. But I am super thankful that they were able to get them, you know, a computer to take home, and then have the ability to do instructions through the Google Classroom setup. And it is a lot of work for my wife and for Caden to kind of change up the daily routine and learn from home, but they're doing a great job, and they're figuring it out on the fly. And Mom has been crushing it for sure. So I wanted to ask you, Thomas, because I know you guys have been doing some homeschooling for a while now. So I just wanted to see kind of, you know, what advice you might have for us new stay-at-home teacher parents.
Yeah. I mean, we had to start this last year because of the fire. You know, getting displaced, and Tiff was just a rock star. She did the what the school gave her, and then she actually started a whole program. It was called the Abeka program, and she ran the kids through it. And then you know, then obviously here we are again. So 2 years in a row having to do the homeschool. But you know, I mean, honestly, the biggest thing is just, you know, being patient, right? Because the kids are used to a program, they're used to a certain way of doing things, and just, you know, kind of going at their pace, and knowing that, there's no pressure, right? You mean, if it takes you a couple hours, takes you all day, if you got to break it up, you know, just going through it, because there's a lot of things that kids will be, you know, dealing with on the back end of everything, right? Just, you know, missing their friends or the teacher or regular things. So, you know, you know, it's difficult for everyone, especially when you don't have a program like we said, when we switched from school to an actual home program last year. It was a lot easier because they already had a program designed to be doing at home, so you could follow that program. What we're finding this year, and at the beginning of our stint last year, is it's obviously a lot harder because the teachers are trying to figure out, the school district's trying to figure it out, and it's going to be 1 week, it's going to be 2 weeks, it's going to be a month, you know, it's going to be, they keep changing it. So every time they change it, the format's changing. But, you know, you use your resources, use the people around you, and, you know, just let your kids learn at their pace. You know, if you got a kid that likes to stand up, let them stand up. If they got to get the wiggles out, let them get the wiggles out, you know. And just don't feel the pressure of it. Your kids are so much smarter than you think they are. They soak it all up. So, mean, that's the biggest thing. It's just, rolling with it and making sure they still enjoy it.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy to see. I have an 8-year-old, and he's definitely got a lot of energy, but he's always been a really good student, and he's always been, you know, one of the leaders in the classroom. You hear that from his teachers all the time that, he's definitely one of the standout kids as far as like staying attentive and asking questions and being engaging. But it's it's nuts when you when you got them at home and they're used to their home environment where like they have their playroom right there, they have their Xbox devices, and they have that kind of freedom, and then they're also not used to having a parent be the teacher. And I had to explain to him, like, you got to treat mom like she's your teacher. She, whatever she says goes. So um, it's been interesting for sure, and it's just one of those things that I mean, we talk about quarantine and how everybody's changing and adapting to what's going on, but I think that's one of the biggest things that I haven't heard a lot of people talking about is just how our students, all our kids' education is either being put on like kind of like a delay or a hold, or they're being thrown this online learning situation.
Right.
And we have like I said, we have an online curriculum set up with Chromebooks, but I know I have friends and family in Virginia that their students were sent home with nothing, and kind of like, we're going to figure out how to do this on the fly, and they don't have any kind of devices set up. So I'm pretty thankful for the ability to have that. But aside from kind of like the at home stuff, Drewby, what's been going on in Chicago? How's it going out there, man?
It's going. We're taking everything basically as serious as possible. I'd rather take it seriously than think we can not, and then bad things happen, right? I mean, we really haven't left our house in like, almost 3 weeks now. Don't go to the store anymore. Like, lucky to have, groceries delivered and all these things, all these like, services and food we need. It's lucky that there's people out there doing that. With that being said, when they do drop stuff off, it's like full paranoid hazmat mode, right? It's like delouse everything, get it in your house. When this first came out, they're like, oh, infants can't get it. And then it's like, well, infants can get it. And it's like, well, yeah. Every time you hear there's something that can't happen, I'm like, probably find out in a week that it can happen. So just trying to be safe. I'm lucky that, our works were already like comfortable with working from home. I work for like a technology company, a website, and we were already kind of comfortable with people working from home. Everything's on the internet. So I feel really fortunate there, just because it was just kind of lucky. You couldn't really predict what industries would be affected. No one really saw this coming, obviously. So I feel lucky. And that's about it. I'm just waiting out the storm. It's getting harder now that the weather's getting nicer. You want to like go out and you're like, nah, this is really testing like people's like, commitment to staying inside.
Yeah, I think, and I saw Thomas. I saw you take the family out on a hike just yesterday or the day before, and I think that's one of the biggest things that I've noticed is you see more people like wanting to get out and have that itch to go out and just be outside or go see friends and family or reach out to people. And I know that I've always been the person that, like, okay, if I'm sitting at a desk for a few hours, I need to get up and go be in the sunlight or outside, do something outside for a little bit. So I think it's pretty crazy to see how many people have gone from that homebody to like have the itch to get outside and do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, you got it. It's one thing for it. It's a whole nother ask 24/7. Like, Keith is the type that you can get him a video game, he's gonna lock and load, but we've been lock and loading for like what 4 or 5 weeks now, right? The kids had spring break and then extended spring break and then an additional time off school, right? So like they have been home for a long time. I mean, our kids have basically been out of school since a week before Vegas. Think about that. Like, so having the nice weather, and we're real fortunate where we're only like 5 minutes away from normally it would be like a dog park and people are doing sports and stuff, but they have trails. The trails are all wide and there's many of them. So yeah, the kids put on their packs and we grabbed our little face shields and we took off. But I mean, there's people out, but everybody's spread out. Like if you park, people are parking 3 spots away from each other, and then just no one people understand social distancing. So it gives me hope they're not going to stay inside forever for sure, right? Because one, can't do it; it's just not possible, especially with kids. I mean, it's not happening. But you can do it responsibly. You can get out, you can go for a walk, you can soak in some sun, get some of that vitamins we all.
Yeah. So, Thomas, I mean, obviously you're on the road right now. You guys are. Tell me about like where you're at
So
and
much of that.
what you guys are doing. Oh, you're muted again, bud.
Oh, sorry, I lost you for a second. What'd you say?
I just said, obviously, you guys are on the road right now. Where are you guys headed? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. So for those that don't know, we talked to my boss and decided the best thing was to just lay me off for a couple weeks, and then we're gonna try to do that payer protection program thing. Because really there's no paintball going on. So we decided that was best for the business. And so the last couple of days we've been going back and forth. We got a hold of our family, and we're going to drive down and go visit our family back from where we had moved from. They've all been staying at home, not doing anything either. So we feel like we're all going to be okay, right? Everybody's been staying in their houses, not doing much. Um, yeah, we're going to go spend some time. We're going to see her parents and my parents, and you can't go do anything, but we can hang out inside with them and just visit family during this time, right?
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, we've been kind of self quarantining naturally for a few weeks now. Just I'm sure some people know my wife has some underlying health conditions, so we've already been like on top of the super cautious flu season. So when everybody's out looking for hand sanitizer, we were kind of already ahead of the game. So and my wife has a nursing background, so she's always the wash your hands as soon as you get home type of person. And I'm always just like stomping around in my boots and stuff, and she's like, come on, man, we got to keep the house clean so everybody doesn't bring stuff home, especially having that kid in school. They just bring them all the germs home. But
Right.
yeah. So one of the other reasons why I wanted to get this show going, or have this show today with Thomas, was because you have these custom guns that just came out that I was like, whoa, what
Yeah.
what is going on?
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. They, every year try to do a gun, and we mix it up with how we're going to do it. So this year I worked with Trav, got some of our infamous guns, right? Purchased some of those, and sent those off to aesthetic anodizing and the fueled by fire control line for 2020.
Sweet. I'm gonna try to bring up a picture of it right here real quick if I can get this going. Check that out. So that's kind of like the top of the body. um I don't know if we just lost Thomas with his connection or not. But this is Thomas's new gun.
Those are sweet.
Let's see if it. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Obviously, there's like a phoenix on the back of it. Um, and I wanted to have him kind of talk about his, fueled by
And
fire.
uh,
I hear a robot voice in the background. I think we lost Thomas for a second. But these are kind of all his colorways that he came out with. And then let's see if I can bring up some of the other images. Um, he has a bunch of different colors, and where are they at? Sorry, guys, I'm gonna bring up the photos of his gun here. There we go. So he's got blue, pink, green. What else has he got? He's got this clear one that I think looks pretty sick. Obviously, this is on one of the new infamous CS2 Pro Edition guns. This red one's real sick. All these were done by Aesthetic Anodizing. Drewby, you've gotten some custom guns done.
Yeah.
What do you think about this?
Yeah, none by aesthetic. I think the acid wash looks really good. It it matches. One thing to like note when you're like looking for the fine details is if the design flows from like the frame to the body.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little thing that makes it look nicer in my opinion, and like you can see it does on these. The masking where they make the Phoenix is really consistent. Like it looks the same on each one, so
Yep.
it's pretty freaking nice, and it's got a lot of nice colorway options.
Yeah. Thomas, you back, bud? I see you, but you're muted.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
There we go.
Thomas, tell us about the fueled by fire kind of motto that you've been.
I think he's cutting out.
Yeah. Well, I can kind of summarize what obviously where it kind of came from. Him and his family lived in Paradise, California, where all the wildfires occurred. Was that last year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, and
A year and a half, yeah.
I mean, just tore through his hometown. So he's been kind of fueled by fire with the whole wildfires, just kind of wreaking havoc and having to come back from that devastation. There he is.
I may or may
Thomas,
not be
tell
here.
us
Can you hear
about
me now?
these guns. Yes.
Yep. Which one of these are you gonna rock, Thomas?
Sorry, boys. These not great. I like that one right there. I like the green one.
That's what I was gonna say.
The green one is one of my favorites.
Who's gonna put that thing together for you? You know how to put it together?
No. Zero chance of him putting it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thomas, you in the car driving does not equal good live streaming content for sure. Whoa. I think we have another person on here.
Mr. T.
We got another
What's up,
driver.
boys?
Oh my gosh.
Another driver.
Another driver.
I'm an essential
guys
employee
know
right now. What's going on?
Don't you guys know what quarantine means? You live in
I'm
Detroit.
super quarantined inside my Jeep.
Where's the mask?
I got a mask somewhere over here.
Oh god.
We got masks. We got guns. We're ready to rock.
You got push goggles.
I saw you FaceTiming me, but I don't know if we're ready for that tech yet. We can't even get Thomas to get like 3 words out, which is nearly impossible.
Oh man, I got twisted because I got the email that said 12 Eastern and then it was 1. I thought I missed it.
Yeah, I definitely screwed that up.
You're Central Time, homie.
Yeah, I know. Out here in Alabama.
Alabama's Central Time. I think the whole
I
state
hit up
is.
Drewby. I was like, hey, Drew, do you want to come on the live show at 12? And he's like, you mean like 30 minutes ago? I was like, oh,
Yeah, he said 12
whoops.
Eastern. I'm like, oh, that already passed.
Listen, I
Nice.
grew up in Virginia. I'm just used to East Coast time, okay?
Hey, can you guys see this? Check out my window. I don't know if you can see this or not.
Is there hail?
It's hail. I'm driving in a hailstorm.
I'd like to go on record saying that Infamous does not condone live streaming and driving.
That's my cameraman. It's actually manning the camera.
That's what I thought.
Kakuza.
Yeah, Kakuza. Where are you at, Trav? What were you doing?
Lost Thomas? I'm
Yeah,
at the
probably.
tanks. Everybody's waiting on the tanks, tank order, blah, blah, blah. So I'm headed to the warehouse. Those are all going out today. So
There you go.
You doing
Everyone-
pickup? Are they coming to pick up your ship boxes? Or are you taking it to the drop off?
yeah, we said great. Like Drew, where's Thomas? Thomas escaped.
Yeah. Lost signal.
Thomas is
Drew,
cut.
He's on 1G.
He's got 1G.
Drew, I need a
He's
guitar,
like-
buddy.
Yeah, so everyone else does too. Do you see Giannis is trying to learn guitar? Everybody's on it.
Thinking
Drew, can you-
I can do so many different things. Drew, how many times have you like
Drew,
snapshot
can you
the
play?
cat?
No, I suck. A couple times. I've also probably watched every single paintball video on YouTube that exists in the past 5 months.
I got a
What's,
special care package.
A lot of
going
good
out
stuff
to you
on there.
this week.
All right, good. It's hail. Hail,
Yeah,
dry eyes.
Sorry. I know. Is that loud?
Yeah,
A little bit.
Sorry. I'm just getting hammered with hail right now.
it's like white noise.
Right. What videos on YouTube are your go-to?
A lot of our matches are fun to watch. They feel like some of them feel really old now. You watch videos from 2012 or 14, it all feels old.
Yeah.
Or I like watching all the tournament recap videos that come out. Those are always sweet. I've been watching all of Ronnie's D's on Docs. Those are cool. Just like anything and everything, honestly. Give a lot of people a chance. I see Lone Wolf's coming up. They're coming up with ads all the time, and I'm watching paintball videos that are well done, and I watch all their videos on product reviews. It's pretty sweet.
Shout out Lone Wolf. Those guys
Yep.
love Infamous. Right
Yeah.
up there in Travis's neck of the woods.
Yeah. Lone Wolf's doing a social distancing pickup tomorrow. It's gonna be nice.
Really.
Yeah. He wants to be one of the first guys that's selling the tanks.
Sweet. We got Travis here. We got Thomas. Travis is in a hailstorm, so sorry to everybody listening. But we got Travis Lemanski. Thomas Taylor is on 1G of service, so you can probably barely see him but not hear him. And then we have Drew Templeton, retired Infamous player who is not going to be retired very long because the season technically is probably just a wash. So when
I haven't really missed any tournaments. So
Yeah, exactly. So when you come back in 2021, it's going to just be like you never retired.
ICC is going to be the first comeback for everybody, and everybody's going to be freaking so excited.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna try unmuting Travis and see how bad it is. Thomas has just muted himself, so so I was gonna ask you, Drew, because I wasn't sure if you were gonna be able to come on today or not, but one of the things I wanted to talk about was just kind of like the NXL event and some things that happened during the NXL event. Last season I had missed a few events, just had to stay home and take care of the family with my wife being sick, and it definitely was a really weird feeling being home with, your whole team playing out, playing tournaments. So I wanted to kind of see how you felt, being home and having to be on the spectator side.
Yeah, I mean, it always stinks like you miss it, obviously, but I think the true reality that I like to take away from it is like the show goes on. Like it's a team for a reason, and one person, two people, or whatever gone doesn't, the show goes on, and it's cool to see, the new guys come on and then do well, and that they were good before this happened or whatever, so that's cool because you think about the entire span of a team like Infamous. You've got, I mean, at some point Lasoya left. At some point, Travis stopped playing. At some point, LB left. So it's pretty cool to be a part of a program that knows how to keep the show going. So
Yeah.
pretty sweet.
Yeah, there's quite a long legacy of Infamous players, and you know, like you said, at one point, one of these guys, stepped down, and the team didn't just disappear. The team's still here, and um, I think obviously the difference between me missing a couple events and you not being at the last event is that you're planning on stepping away from the game to take care of your family, and me, it was more kind of like an undecided, not really sure when I was going to be able to play again, when I was going to be able to step back into the team role, and that's a weird feeling, because you're so used to being on the team and going to practice and on the grind kind of thing, and you've been doing it for so long. It's really a weird feeling, and I think a lot of people right now can relate to that, especially with the whole COVID situation and not knowing when you're going to be able to play again. It's really weird, and definitely a strange feeling. But um, I think the biggest takeaway that I got from it was, you do appreciate all the little things that you might not have before. Even just the early mornings, or the going and getting breakfast with the team, or um, all the little things that go into playing paintball and just going out to the field, and uh, kind of getting that escape, right? So, um, one thing that I would just share with everybody is, hopefully when all this passes, you guys have a different appreciation for the game, and when you get there, or when you get back out there onto the field, you really appreciate all those moments just a little bit more, and yeah. So, Thomas, someone's asking to
I hear.
unmute Thomas. Just so you know, guys,
Yeah,
Thomas is muting himself.
I am. I am using myself on service. I got service now, but I don't know how long it's gonna last. So trying to be respectful to the peeps. I tried to go into the live
There you
chat,
go.
but I'm not smart enough to leave comments. Guys, so I don't know. I was gonna try to get in somewhere.
I don't know
Yeah,
if you
you're
can.
on your phone.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ruby.
Can you reply to the chat? Is it on Facebook you reply?
Yeah, I'm responding to YouTube and Facebook
Oh, I
through
gotcha.
our setup here. I'm not sure what it looks like on your guys' end, but hosting it, I'm able to respond to everybody. And definitely, if you guys have questions or comments that you'd like to ask, whenever we can, we'll definitely respond to some of those questions. Um, yeah. So, Drew, were you yelling at your screen as much as I was when you were watching us play, or?
Yeah, I mean, you like when you take a step back, you realize how important the first match is. The second match, last year it's like, oh, screw it, we just got to win the both on Saturday and make the cut. And it's crazy when you see it how close it is. It's this. I mean, 1 point. I mean, you say it all the time when you're in the moment, but you see it from the outside. It's just like those 1 point differences are, you going beating Dynasty, beating AC, all this stuff. So, yeah, it's hard to watch, but I mean, you get it because you've been there, but it's also like, man, it's really close.
Yeah, the crazy thing is when you're at the tournament, and even when you go back and watch the matches, or recap your match from the day or whatever. When you're completely removed from the whole situation, it's like, man, why didn't you guys just do this one little thing here or this one little thing there? And when you're removed from the whole situation, it's just kind of, you have a much broader perspective of the whole match, I feel like. So I felt like when I was home watching the team, I'm like, hey, you really need to do this, or hey, you really need to change that or this, just like little things here or there. But when you're at the tournament in the fight, it's a lot harder to kind of narrow down on some of those situations. And I think that's where the great teams separate themselves from the kind of mediocre teams. But yeah.
Yeah, when you play, you feel like the mistakes, you're like, oh, you can overcome that one mistake next point. But if you realize how crucial any one mistake really can be in the long run, because when you're playing, you're just like a competitor, and you're like, I can make 2 mistakes, and I'll just make up for it with 4 good plays or something, right? So, but then you realize how crucial they really are.
Yeah, you have to play so perfect. If you're down points, there is no, you can't lose the point. So I always would tell you guys, give me a 2-point lead. Go up there and put 2 points on the board. But when you're playing from a behind position, you're always playing catch up. You can't make any more mistakes. You go down more points. And then if you're in a really desperate situation where it's 4 minutes left and you're down 2 points, you've got to manage the clock and go fast. And that's a super advantage for the team that's up, because they can just make you run into guns and make you make the mistakes. It's terrible.
Yeah, so one thing that we had last event, Trav, that we've never, that I can remember at least, is we practiced the team that we played in the event, which was AC Dallas. And to me, like that's kind of like a thing you never do, right? Because the tournament is so important. And we did have a lead on AC Dallas. I went back and watched, and like we did have a lead on AC Dallas, and we also had a match played before them, so they kind of came on cold, and we kind of already had a little warm up match. But I was, looking back at the whole entire event, that match was so important for us, as well as the other ones where we lost by 1 point. But that match in particular, I didn't know if maybe revisiting that scenario of us practicing a team that we play in the event and how the outcome ended up, if you had anything that you revisited.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, it is taboo for people to not practice a team you draw in the prelims, but I personally have never subscribed to that. I think that there's good teams are always going to adjust. The best teams adjust on the fly faster than you can adjust. So to be honest, it wasn't the first match of the event. They were definitely going to get to scout us anyway, so you're going to know once you're in the event, you can't hold back, right? You have to do what your plays are, what your most effective plays are. You have to use them. Now you might have a trick play you can pull out, but that's 1 point, right? So I think practicing a team that you're going to play in the event, in my opinion, it's fine. If you think that you're going to make them better, say you're significantly better, that's one thing. But if they're a good team and you're a good team and you're both going to learn from it, I feel like a good practice is better than anything, because you're both there to win the event. It's not just one match.
Agreed, for sure. I mean, I thought it would have been a lot different heading into the event, having practiced them, but really it didn't matter. It's kind of like that mentality of, it doesn't, your opponent's not really the focus. It's your game, playing your game, and then kind of just tweaking a few things here or there. But I guess I just kind of kick ourselves for having that lead and kind of blowing it in the long run. But there was one point that I wanted to kind of bring up and see if I can show this. I want to show this point. I don't know if Thomas, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Thomas is muted.
I unmuted. Can you hear me?
I can hear him.
Oh, I can't hear Thomas.
So this is we are up 4-2. This is from Go Sports, so everybody that wants to go watch, some of the best paintball you can possibly watch, head over to gosports.com and check them out. They obviously have all of our matches. We were up 4-2 against AC Dallas. Thomas, if you can see this, you made it out here to this snake insert bunker
Yep.
here. We had 5-on-5 breakout. Kind of skip forward a little bit here, but basically AC went into their kind of lockdown mode of locking off the snake gap here, and so you kick out to the corner, made it alive. We get a kill. So now it's 5-on-4.
Yep.
Greg's up in the center, which was a little bit different than usual. Harrison tries to kick out, but they had the Dorito 1 just sitting on the cross. Chop him up, right? So everything's still okay here. Skip forward a little bit.
Yeah,
longer.
that was one of those spots where we should just.
So just so
a
you
little
know,
bit.
like
We were up on bodies. We
in
didn't
my
have to push.
mindset on the breakout on that play, I knew we were up 2 points, and AC, if you can give them credit for anything, it's the really good shots on the break. So I wanted to play super safe and soft. So what we did on that particular play was Harrison and Thomas played short. Thomas worked himself smartly out to the corner, and then Greg has a really wide open pocket in the center. That's why we went up so far in the center with him, is because that was the safe play. It just shows that like we got a little impatient with Harrison there, so he should not have forced that in a 5-on-5 situation.
Right, and that was a huge gap to try to cut across. Which obviously Harrison's a great player, and he's not going to just fill into a gun on purpose.
Right.
That was that super deep cross that if you do have a disciplined team can sit on and wait for that.
But Thomas definitely has the ball. Thomas is already in the corner, and the corner is pretty much a blind fill. I mean, an easy fill when you're the only guy out there. And Harrison's in that great stand-up that's like super zone control on that side. So he really should have let Thomas go to work and not force that.
Yeah. Okay, so.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of felt the same way. Like we're up on points, we're in position. They were the Dorito one that kept shooting the snake gap, or the God gap. So instead of going forward, I feel back because he can't see me, and then I just started rapping. We pulled that kill out of the middle, so I'm not feeling any pressure to go anywhere. I thought we're having a good communication. We can just sit here and ride the points. They got to not a point. I'm not feeling pressure to do anything besides just communicate and shoot our guns. Obviously, that started breaking down though.
Yeah, so I guess we just lost Trav. I don't know. He disappeared. But so, yeah, we're. This is something that we, as a team, I know we can do it because we do it all the time. But everybody likes to say that we are not a sit. We are not a sit and kind of lock it up kind of team.
You don't look nappable.
But that's Amanda in the back there. What's up? She can't hear us, can she?
She's killing it. She just cycled like 15 miles. She's been crushing it got an indoor bike and she's crushing it.
Sweet. So, we always are told, from everybody else that we can't kind of sit and kind of lock up zones. And this was a perfect example of us having the body advantage, being up 2 points. There's only 4 minutes left in the game, and we fill into guns, right? So things start to get a little interesting once Greg kind of kicks over to the snake, and this is where I wanted to kind of show this clip just because it was pretty funny, but also at the same time wanted to get Thomas's point of view on what happened. So we're watching.
Yeah, get us to where we're at, and I'll
There
walk
we
you through
go.
it.
So Greg kicks over, gets in the snake,
Yeah.
which Greg actually did this in practice a few times, kind of making these fills back across and filling in here. But we have Fuzzy come down. Someone catches him and makes him drop. So I don't know if Fuzzy died before that, but Thomas.
Yeah. So I can walk you through the play. I can walk you through it. It's hard to see on video. So Greg goes in, and I'm wrapping. Fuzzy just takes off running, and I am just chewing up paintballs. I mean, there's just literally, if there was an angle on me, it probably just looks like a spray gun machine. I'm not getting any paintballs out. I'm able to get, spray at Fuzzy. So there must have been at least one or two balls that came out to make him dip. And then obviously I can't see which knuckle Greg is in. All I know is Fuzzy goes down and he stays in, right? He doesn't go out. And the ref points for him to come out. So I see him go in, come out, and go back in. I see the ref pointing. I'm assuming he bunkered Greg because I was shooting spray, right? So I'm like, great, he got Greg, and I'm not going to be able to shoot this guy. So I'm still firing, and Greg literally jumps to the outside of the bunker, right? Which I shoot him in the back, which completely sucks. Because now a paintball comes out of my gun, and hits him, which blows. Greg and I talked about it afterwards. It just probably because we didn't have enough reps there. Anytime we had that clear, you're supposed to crawl the highway and just go to their end. Instead, he jumped to the outside of the bunker, right? So, us not getting enough reps there, and then just the sequence of events, ends up leaving me on that tape by myself. And then at the end of it, which you can't see here, Mike loses a gunfight to TJ. I think Mike's chilling, sees me going down the snake, and I'm trying to shoot TJ in the back. After I shoot, I think it was John Jackson out of the corner, and TJ I think beat me to the buzzer by, I don't know, half step or something. I'm not sure. I thought I beat him. They said on the camera he beat me. So
yeah, he barely beat you. But I think there was obviously it was kind of funny because you shot Greg, right? That's funny, but I think there's so much that we could have taken from this point and put it towards the next event or next practice or whatever. And I think it's a good teaching moment for a lot of paintball players out there, and that's the reps. You talked about the reps, getting the reps in with the guys in the snake. Now we're a professional team. We know those scenarios, but you can't account for Greg just coming on the team, right? We only had 2 practices together before that, and then just the way that the play broke down. So we as a team are going to get better at stuff like knowing Greg's body language and what we expect from him, right? And you'll get that same kind of look, uh, you know, in the future, because I'm sure it'll happen again. Greg will fill over and fill in a spot or whatever. So that's getting reps with your team and learning your teammates' body language. Also, just playing in the moment of, your equipment might not be working perfectly, uh, accidentally shooting your own player and having to figure out what to do next. A guy running full steam to come bunker your teammate, you know what I mean? And you catch him out in the open, communicating across that back across to your other teammates across the field so they know what's going on and don't lose a gun battle. You know what I mean? When Mike's the guy by himself on that side with 2 dudes over there, there's only one guy on your side, and at the time you had 2 guys with you. So communicating that all the way back across the board, taking it all the way back to the beginning of the point where we were up a body, getting Harrison alive across to the snake, or just staying in our spots. And then, closing the point, obviously, there's not much you can do about that. You shot the one guy you could shoot, and you're trying to play it smart to go get the buzzer. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there was anything else you could have done there. besides just go a little bit quicker, but it is what it is, right? But yeah, I just wanted to throw this out there for everybody else to kind of take some of the stuff that we learned from the event as well.
Was that snake like everyone kept crawling down the highway? Could a lot of people see you if you crawled down the tape, just like down the knuckles? Could a lot of people hold those cuts?
So down the tape, yes. So when you go around these, they're so far away from anything over here that you could easily throw paint and catch a guy's pack crawling around the outside. It was more obvious in like these back spots when you're kind of in the center, not so much like down here. But to Thomas's point, in practice, 99% of the time, you would just get in here and crawl through here, especially when this guy's dead. If that guy right in front of you is not there, then you have a free crawl all the way to their side. And Thomas was in the corner and can kind of throw paint that way as well. So, Greg was playing on his toes and just kind of did that natural instinct of jumping out to the outside to kind of solidify the edge there. And speaking of Greg, I think we actually have
What up?
Mr. Greg
Mr.
on the
G.
line.
I didn't know Drewby was going to be here. It's a party now.
It is a party. How's the baby?
Big and loud.
Nice.
No, he's awesome, dude. We just took him for his 2-month appointment. He's healthy, happy, giggling, smiling.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What's going down? We're talking about how Thomas shot me in the back or what?
Exactly. So I showed that point. I don't know how much you saw, but that was that point. I think that kind of broke down that AC match. And I was just talking about how there are so many different things in that specific point that we could have tweaked, moving forward as a team to kind of help us get over that hump. Yeah, and it just so happens that you caught it in the back from Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, I said it in the Go Sports interview too, is at the end of the day, I think that was one of those things where, yeah, a million other things could have made sense to happen, but you can't outplay the new team blues. Like, even though we've played together, it just kind of, it is what it is. You're going to go through those moments where you're like, oh, well, next time I'll be ready for that.
Yeah. Yep. And I was kind of saying, in hindsight, yeah, just crawling that tape line would have been, or the inside route would have been completely, normal and what we had practiced. But this inside route right here, but you just had a guy bump into your bunker that, I mean, he ran into it pretty hard. You're like, oh my gosh, there's a guy right here. You go around, you stick him. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm still alive. And you just jump out to the wire to kind of get that edge, right?
Yeah.
And that's just kind of natural paintball instinct for any layout. So, and that's what Thomas was like. I was so surprised that he just all of a sudden appeared right there on the wire, and he wasn't sure if Fuzzy was still alive or not. So that's just, I don't know. It's just something that you kind of have to roll with the punches, and just sometimes bad luck happens.
Yeah, the chaos set in too. I mean, at that point, I think there was 2 bodies alive, but I wasn't 100% sure if there was a guy still in the middle. So the reason I went to that brick was a quick crawl to the inside, and then I tried to get out of the way, knowing that guys were going into that wedge and shooting through that pipe. So it was get as far as I can, get out of the way, felt the bump, bunkered him, and then I thought, oh, if I was a middle guy and I was there, I'd be swinging straight at me. So I swung to the outside instead of, crawling face down. But again, all of that thought process went down in all of 3 seconds. So
not even.
Yeah.
0.5 seconds, Greg. 0.5 seconds.
It was 3 in my head.
Of you to leave after Greg joins, and we just watched you shoot him in the back.
I wanted him to tell his side of it. I came, I saw, I got shot in the back.
This is why I don't go to the snake.
I mean, hey, but in the grand scheme of things, we're talking about this, and it's everybody has a lot of downtime. These are great things for you guys to do, because like Greg and I immediately talked about this. the matter here. I think him, as well as Mike and I got to talk afterwards too. And like, hey, when you're on an island, just chill, make them work for it because we can blow the other tape out. So I thought this was very constructive, even though this is the game not in our favor. We win this point. I really believe we win the match. But it was really.
Yeah, he's been cutting in and out all afternoon. He's on the road, Greg, driving back home, or driving back to California.
Always on the move.
But yeah, he's on the move. So, again, this is footage taken from Go Sports. So if you would like to watch the whole match over, definitely head over to gosports.com and check them out. They have really great content, and if I was a new paintball player, I would literally watch everything front, back, then again, and then again. But, there's so much that you can learn from this kind of stuff. But one thing that we don't get a lot of is the specific moments like this from the players themselves. You're kind of watching this from a bird's eye view with Maddie or whoever's commentating, trying to give you what they are seeing on the fly. But it's definitely a lot you can take away from stuff like this.
Definitely.
So, Greg, what are you up to, man?
Moving and shaking, man. I mean, I don't know if the guys on here have seen, but I've been doubling down on the online training. Just redid a platform with a little bit of help from you. Moved houses, taking care of a 2-month-old baby. All sorts of stuff, man. Moving and shaking.
You moved houses too?
I moved houses too. So I'm actually in the new house right now. That was like a 3-day escapade. So I still have my gym stuff at the other house. So I commute over there to do any training. Online training here, baby here, back and forth.
Wow.
And no one said the quarantine had to slow you down.
Right? Why the move, Greg?
Opportunistic. I mean, I've told you guys before, but my wife's in real estate, so she found a house that she liked. She thought that was a good deal. So now the other house is going to be a rental, and then we moved all over here, and that was a last-minute decision. So I just follow suit. She leads the way.
Good man. Smart man.
Yeah. I learned early.
I'm still learning. You're so far ahead of me.
Yeah. The key is pre-workout.
What is it? Caffeine and passion, baby.
Caffeine and passion.
Megawatt.
It's funny. I'm at my desk right here, and this is sitting on my desk.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know.
You never know. You just got to take one to the dome.
You made it for a late night project or going to the gym. They both works. It works for both.
Yeah. What's today? Or it could just be a Wednesday morning. You're just doing stuff.
Right. Yeah. I need some inspiration right now. Megawatt.
Yeah. Come on. Did you see those scrawling skills? That wasn't natural. That was pre-workout infused.
Shout out First Form, one of the team's new sponsors this year. They've been dabbling in the paintball scene for a while, and we were like, let's make something happen. I mean, let's get something going and try to bring in these outside industry sponsors to the game. And I think they're a great company. I think everything they're doing is awesome, and you go watch any of their stuff and you get fired up, ready to go. So Greg's been on the First Form training athlete search map for a while there, so he's all about it.
Yeah, dude, I'm trying, man. I mean, yeah, that stuff is super cool, and obviously it'd be pretty gangster to be an athlete for an outside company. But at the end of the day, dude, anything to grow paintball a little bit, like that's a big outside company that loves the sport, and they're giving us an opportunity to show player support for the product. You know what I mean? So we have the Infamous link right now. So if people go to firstform.com/infamous paintball, then it shows that paintball players are supporting the company, and then they want to get more and more involved. Same way Nike and Under Armour have, but this one's a little more specific.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Super helpful. And who doesn't like
Yeah,
pre-workout?
so it was just First Form. What's the link again for through their side? It's firstform.com
.com
/infamous
/
paintball.
infamous paintball. Yeah.
So we're going to be setting up all kinds of stuff on the Infamous side in the future. I know we'll have that, a little bit easier to navigate for people. But I think it's, like you said, it's a great opportunity to get outside sponsors into the game, or at least have a outlet into the game a little bit easier than just hopefully like dumping a bunch of money in. And we'd rather it be more of a personal connection than just uh, you know some random company, right? So but aside from that, yeah, I mean, I've helped Greg a little bit with some of his online training that he's doing, and we're updating the look and making it a lot more user friendly. You have a new app that you're using, which is really cool. I mean, it makes it a lot more user friendly, and it looks a lot cleaner and nicer, I think. So if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. So the move on map training, originally it was an online process because I was helping a lot of paintball players like worldwide, just get into shape, pulling their nutrition together. But the platforms I was using were never super fluent. They were hard to use. They used outsourced videos. So this new one that we've been working on has everything embedded. So it's a completely custom app where you can scroll through custom workouts, but from a client perspective or from a player perspective, the really cool part is that it is daily communication with me, directly to me. So every time you have a comment about your workout, how hard it was, how easy it was, you need help while you're at a restaurant and you're trying to pick a meal, you can send a message and it literally pops up like an alert on your phone, the same way any major app that you have does. So it just allows you to really like fine tune absolutely everything. And then all the video tutorials on there are 10, 15 seconds, completely embedded. So as you're ripping through workouts, trying to work your way through everything, you're going to learn fast because it's literally a click of a button.
Yeah, so I just put the link in the chat. It's trainwithmap.com. Accidentally put the wrong one before that, but it's trainwithmap.com. I'm gonna show a little screenshot of what it looks like, and I mean, I think it looks sick. Let's see if I can show this thing off. Whoops, there's Greg.
Show us your skills.
Trying here. But what kind of workouts and training setup do you have for paintball players? Because I mean, like what you're basically saying here is, if you guys want to be trained by an infamous player, a guy who's been playing professional paintball for a long time and has the knowledge to help you excel your game in the way that you want, I mean, you can literally be trained by Greg. So what kind of stuff do you offer that can help paintball players?
So actually the new platform really helps with this. For paintball players, I have specific workouts that are designed to build around like functional movement, like unilateral, right? Training on one side. So every time you're trying to make those 90-degree cuts or accelerate off the gate when you're stepping on one foot, like I have workouts completely built around that fact. So you can completely hone in on whatever you're trying to accelerate in the game. And then if you're, a weekend warrior and you're just a fan and you want to be better, because let's be honest, paintball's more fun when you're better at it, I have workouts built that'll start you from the very beginning, like a really basic strength training program, explain to you how to kind of navigate the gym. And then we can set intervals so that you can work your way up to those super hard, more athletic moves and be comfortable doing them by the time you get there. So we can completely control the progress that you have along the way. And then I even just uploaded a couple paintball specific drills that you can take on the field. So they're with or without a target and shooting. So while we're in quarantine, you can go out in the backyard and train for paintball. Or when you get back to the field, you'll have like the ultimate drill day set up.
That's awesome.
It's been fun, man. It's super effective too. Like I know a lot of
Cool.
people and a lot of companies have put out 1,000,001 drills, right? And at the end of the day, I've talked to some people that are like, I just had to make something up, you know? Like the drills that I'm putting together and that I'm making the videos for
Yeah.
are the ones that I do when I'm home. They're literally the things that I pull directly out of my own arsenal.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of little things that you've learned over the years that might not seem like a big deal, but are definitely a big deal, you know, when you're stepping on that start gate or trying to leave your bunker, just throughout the whole process of an entire match. There's all kinds of stuff that go into it. It's not just how much weight you can lift, and it's not just, you know, just being super muscular. Like you got to be flexible, you got to be quick on your toes, you got to I think one of the coolest things that I've seen that you have is the lights.
Oh yeah, the blaze pods,
Yeah, I mean, I
the
think
agility lights.
that just looks like fun. Looks like a fun workout to me where you're literally just kind of chasing these lights around, you know. Um,
Yeah,
and you can put them in all the different kinds of positions and stuff like that. But being able to adjust on the fly, it has saved me personally from, I think, some serious injuries in the sport multiple times. I'm not the most flexible guy ever, and I'm obviously not the biggest guy ever, but if you can figure out how to not overcorrect and keep control of yourself as much as possible when you are throwing your body on the ground, um, it's going to help your career or your paintball lifespan.
yeah. It's the muscle memory of it, right? But
Hmm.
like the agility lights, you know, a lot of the things in these drills that I'm training are patterns so that you can actually start to memorize movements, and proprioception, meaning like where you are in space compared to other things, so that, you know, think about it. When you're running and shooting, as soon as you look and you check off the bunker you're going to, you've lost your shot. You know, you have to start from scratch in full sprint. So if you can know where that thing is every single time, you can focus more on the target. And the more you train that pattern, the better you become at it, even when you're not actually doing that actual paintball skill.
Right. Yep.
That's
Agreed.
how I treat paintball. The less I have to think about, the faster I can do things.
Yeah. And Maddie was actually talking about this yesterday with Ronnie. He's talking about doing a kind of a, I forget what he called it, but where basically talking about like flow states, you know, when you kind of get into that flow state and what separates, you know, the elite players from just the average player, and kind of what's going through their mind during those big, huge, crucial points. And I don't know if you can hear that, but that's my
Yeah.
dog drinking water. Um, but I think one of the easiest things to kind of hone in on is just your endurance. You know, if your endurance isn't to snuff, you're gonna fall apart mentally really quick. So I think that's something that, you know, you could probably speak more about for every individual, and really getting that endurance level up to your level that you need to be at, not just for everybody but for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, I mean, one, you definitely can't be in flow state when you're in pure exhaustion. Like you run out of oxygen, you run out of flow. But two is you should, and this is why I got into fitness in the first place, is because of paintball. I realized that the more athletic guys were better. They had a clear advantage. And then
Right.
also, I never will let myself lose based on something that I have control of. There's so many variables about winning that if I'm tired, that's my fault. You know, that's something I had complete control of before I stepped on the field. So why am I going to lose because of something like that? You know what I mean? Everything I can control, I'm going to. And fitness is number one.
Yep, definitely. It makes sense. But I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. So I'm interested to see kind of where he goes with that topic, and see what everybody else thinks, and kind of, I don't really know specifically what the flow state definition is, but I think we all kind of just have that, you know, you're in the zone mentality, right? So, and I think as a professional paintball player for so long, you kind of just know where you're at mentally during the stage of a match, before a match, at the end of the match, and everybody's different, you know, and someone might need to get super hyped up. Someone might need to just kind of be calm, cool, and collected. Some guys need a nap. Some guys need a Snickers bar. I don't know, whatever. I've known guys that like to get literally shot before they play.
Throwing up, I've seen that one.
It helps the adrenaline boost, you know. Shout out Steve Rabikoff. But yeah, so I think if anybody, I've seen some comments on here just asking about, you know, different workouts that they can do at home or use their iPhone to watch while they're kind of doing this quarantine thing, and everybody's putting out workout videos left and right. But the biggest thing I would say is that, you know, Greg's a professional paintball player. So if you like playing paintball at a high level, he's going to be able to help dial you in, and it's a direct line to Greg. So I would definitely hit him up for sure. And the website is trainwithmap.com.
Yeah. So you highlighted. I didn't know there was a live chat on here, so I'm in it now. I can see it.
Oh yeah, there is for sure.
Yeah. So some of the people are asking, like Vince was asking about home workouts. For that one, even more than the website, is check out Train with Map on anything: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. And I've been trying to post more and more workouts based on either singular items you might have around the house. Like I did a duffel bag workout the other day, and I posted up 10 exercises that you could do by literally filling a duffel bag full of heavy stuff like tools and gear around the house. But just, it's about getting creative right now. It's anything but sitting, because body weight gets real heavy real fast when you start to move around. But check out the social media stuff. And then if you need help beyond that, you guys can always message me directly.
Yeah. I mean, the free content is great, but you're not going to get that personal, specialized touch, you know, and you offer like a monthly plan and a yearly plan and stuff like that. And I mean, if I said before, if I was an aspiring paintball player to get better at a craft, I would definitely utilize this time right now to hit up guys like you, because, you know, it is your business, it is your income, and it's also something that you're super passionate about. So I don't know why you wouldn't jump on that.
And I will say more than most, I'm very reasonable when it comes to these things. Like I saw someone ask about a beer. I like beer too. I also love me some French fries, but it doesn't mean you can't be athletic and super explosive in the process. You just, you know, you find a nice balance, and that's where the custom programming comes in.
Yeah, Thomas can comment on this. We're definitely not a team that shies away from having a few beverages, you know, before not before practice, but after
I was like,
practice.
wow.
Before practice is a little loose. I don't know about
that. 30-day challenges. We could get a 30-day challenge going. Edward Dizon asking about doing that. Last time I did that, I gave away a paintball gun and a jersey. So maybe we could get back into that.
Dang, a gun?
Dude, I'm big time. If someone's gonna do a 30-day challenge, you're gonna work your ass off. You're gonna put photos online. It's gonna suck a little bit, but you got to get something in return.
Right, of course. I mean, a gun. I'll throw some pictures up. What do you need?
We can make it happen.
I bet Thomas has got these things.
Oh snap! Those came out really good.
Yeah, baby.
Thomas, can you talk baby. Right now or no?
Yeah. We found a place to stop. I actually have service, so I can hear you.
One of the YouTube questions we had was, what's the story behind the Phoenix gun?
Yeah, so you know, I wanted to tie these back. You know, I was thinking about, you know, what I'm going to do for this year for you know, my line. I always try to do a line each year, and you know, I wanted to tie it back to Paradise. You know, we lost our town last year, and there were some really cool artists that made, they took all the keys from the homes that were burnt down, like, tens of thousands of keys, and made a phoenix out of the keys. I posted that in the picture. You can see that. And then there was a couple guys who do chainsaw things that turned big, huge trees into phoenixes coming out of the ashes. So yeah, I wanted to just do something that kept it close to home, something that means something to me, but also something that just looked really, really sweet. Because I think doing something like that, as you can see what Aesthetic did on the guns, would just come out really cool. So something that meant something to me, but something that also everybody could just love, whether they can appreciate what we went through last year or not. It doesn't really matter because they still look awesome. So yeah, so that's the story behind it, man. I just I've been sticking with the theme of what's been driving me for the last year and a half since we lost our town. Just being just having that fire within, right? I think all of us pro players have that. So that's the fueled by fire line, and I wanted to be able to do it 7 guns, right? Stick with the number 7, and have them all unique at the same time. So you got 7 colors, all hand done, so they're all a little bit different. And of course, they're on the infamous CS2 Pro platform. So yeah, it's really cool. Everybody's loving them too. I'm getting a really good feedback.
That's sick.
I like it. I think it looks really cool. I dig all the colorways that you chose. I think those are nice. Definitely the design is clean and to the point, and I think it's got a cool story behind it.
Thank you. It's the pink, the purple, and the lime green. No one's put a deposit down on yet. I am letting people do payment plans because I know it's a tough time and people are waiting for money to come in. So if you want one of the last 3 guns, hit me up and I'll take care of you. Maybe pair it with one of those new infamous tanks. You know what I'm saying? Get a good color combo going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I wanted to touch on something that Greg was saying a little bit ago. My service wasn't that great. Some guys you were going on, and I saw some comments. When it comes to doing Greg's workouts or doing home workouts or breaking down video, basically what we've been talking about this whole time, or getting yourself a new gun or tank, whatever you need. The beauty of our quarantine is you have time to invest into yourself, right? And you should be using this time. Take advantage of Greg. Take advantage of Go Sports. Go on there and watch it, because if you want to get to your flow state or whatever you want to call it to be the best you can be, you have to have top of the line gear. You need to be in good shape, and you have to have enough mental reps. You cannot get yourself into a state of top performance until you've done it 1,000 times, 10,000 times, so you've seen it 10,000 times, right? So you need to take advantage of this time. You're out there watching whatever you're doing. You're like, man, I'm just sitting on the couch playing 500 video games. I've watched every Netflix series. I am the Tiger King. Well, start investing in some other things. Invest in yourself, because I'm serious though, right? Like, we didn't get to where we are because Greg said it himself. He saw the other athletes, right? He wanted to take it serious. Someone posted in there, how do I still look young? I'm like going to be 40 here in June, man. I'm always investing into myself. I invest in everybody else around me too. But bro, I work out hard. I try to eat clean. Doesn't mean I don't have a cold IPA. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you got to have a cold IPA every now and then. But you got to put the work in. You got to be mentally and physically healthy to perform the best you can do, right? So,
Yep.
use this time, man. Invest in yourself. Don't let it beat you down. Enjoy the people around you, and it's God-given time. No matter what you're gonna do with it, do something good with it.
I like it. Well said.
Definitely. Agreed, for sure. It's definitely you definitely want to invest in yourself, right? And we're stuck doing different activities, doing different workout routines, different everything. Everything's different, and it's not going to go back to the way it was before. So whether it takes months, I don't know how long it's going to take, right? But it's not going to be the same routine that you had before. Everything's going to change. But I think the best case scenario is you come out of this on the other end feeling better about yourself, the time that you spent, whatever, the conversations you had with people, or even if it's just looking forward to those moments on the field again, right? So, and as far as just like watching content or taking in content, right? You want to take in stuff that's gonna, make you better. I think watching those sports or watching practice video or watching raw footage, watching Ronnie's, you know, YouTube documentary, like all of that stuff is good content to take in and just kind of store in your file cabinet, right? And pull that out later on when you have the chance.
Amen. Preaching it.
Trying to go through here and look at some of these comments or questions. Seems
Blowing up right now. 18 down there, I see, since the last time I looked.
Mm-hmm. Someone said, it seems like Infamous has been playing back more this year and last. Seems like in the past the team was more aggressive with its moves. Is there a reason for that?
Well, I was just waiting to get Greg so he could attack faster on the other side. All right. I've been waiting. Drew's like, I'm watching you, idiot. That's not fair. No.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't speak for last year, but I feel like Infamous has always been a punch people in the teeth kind of team. Like, even if it was only one guy flying at you at a time, like the team's always been coming. I mean, I guess if you see Callie and Cody at the same time, you might be a little slower, but that's about it.
Calculated, okay?
Calculated.
Hey, honestly, it's up until the last few years, there hasn't been a lot of fields where you can just, while out and punch, and a lot more teams are sitting back. And, I think Travis mentioned this earlier, on a lot of these fields, if you go down a couple points because you're getting crazy, you can't come back. It's impossible, right? Because teams are willing just to sit and shoot a bazillion paintballs on a bounce shot, and it's ridiculous. So if Infamous doesn't look as aggressive in your mind, it's not because we're not ready to go punch people. I will run to their start station every time if I get the chance. I'm ready. I got the cardio. Let's go. I'm not worried about it. Problem is there's just not the opportunities. They're not all there, and we don't have to. We have enough skilled players. We don't have to just, and I won't mention any teams. I don't want to dime anybody out, but we don't have to send 3 guys to every 50 and hope 2 of them make it so we can win the point every game. Like, I trust in the dudes. We can go. I'm being real, right? Let's, we can go win heads up each time. We have a deep enough roster and players. So, if we don't look as aggressive as some teams, I will guarantee those teams that look more aggressive are the teams that have to be, because that's their only chance of winning, right? Yeah. They're throwing Hail Marys going, please, Lord, let a couple people make it, shoot some fools inside, right?
Well, I mean, and I feel like the only time you see a quick point now is when something goes terribly wrong for the other team. Like I always say, from first gear to sixth gear, there was one guy shooting that way. He happened to, something went wrong. He got clipped off the break, and you see one guy sprint end to end. Other than that, like there's not a lot of really quick points anymore.
Yeah. So like it goes to, I think it goes back to, if you watch our practices against these other super top level teams, X Factor, AC Dallas, there are really fast points where we're just running down the field because you did, shoot a guy or 2 on the break and you blow down that side, or you're figuring out where to cross it up and where not to cross it up, or when to cross it up. And we already worked out all those crazy factors by the time we get to the tournament, where people are seeing those kind of polished, refined game plans, and you don't get that from the spectator side having the layouts released ahead of time. But if you had a blind layout and you showed up to the tournament and played a blind layout, there would be many points where guys are just on the gas only because
you figure out
a seam, or you figure out some wild up the middle play and people weren't expecting it. But by the time we get to the tournament, that guy had already ran through the middle twice or a couple times and made you remember it, and you keep your eye on that. You know what I mean? Or the guy ends up in your snake on the break and you remember that. So you keep an eye out for it or whatever. But as far as our team goes, I think we're always ready to pull out those quick game plans, but you can't you can't give anybody a point here or there just throwing caution to the wind. But last season we did. I think we still had plenty of aggressive players. I think we were just trying to figure out kind of our own style, or not our own style, but figure out our own game plan. I wasn't at a lot of the events, so that's a little different too. And this year we have more aggressive players. I mean, not more aggressive, but we still have aggressive players. We have Greg back on the Dorito side, which we also didn't have Nate, which Nate was that kind of spark plug that could blow up in a game plan anywhere he is on the field. Who else? We have Mike Waring, which we saw him do a few plays during the event that he also did at practice, where all of a sudden he's just flying down the field, and you're like, okay, yeah, that was there. You know what I mean? So, I think we're always going to be more aggressive than we are kind of like that sit back and shoot your gun type of team. But I think it just goes to the level of the competition that we have to play at. We can't just start running around crazy.
Definitely. Boys, I got like 2% battery. I ran this thing for an hour and a half. I'm off till next week when we hang out, drink some IPAs, and tell the people how life's going.
All right, man. Thanks for doing this and tuning in while you're driving. Drive safe. We'll be in touch.
Use the guns. All right, see ya.
Yeah, man. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about while I got you on here? Or?
So it all started when I was 12. No,
oh boy. I went to a birthday party.
Right, yeah. Isn't that how everyone started? No, my mom was shopping, and there was a paintball field next door.
Different.
Right? Yeah, a little different story. Been addicted ever since. It was all downhill from there.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely remember the first time I got shot was at a birthday party. That's the only thing I remember from that event, or from playing, was getting shot. I don't really remember anything else from being there, but definitely remember me and my buddies going out and playing in the backyard, in the woods, and just laughing hysterically at some of the stuff that we were doing. Safety was not one of the leading factors, but we made it all. We all made it out okay, aside from running into a beehive here or there.
Oh yeah,
but
same here.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what else to go over here, man. The only other thing that I was going to ask you about is like, was your training stuff, how quarantine life is going with the new baby, and how all that's going. And then if there was anything else that you wanted to talk about.
Ooh. So we talked about the training stuff a little bit. It's booming, man. It's so much fun. Like I said, that new platform we've been working on is it's stunning. I mean, it's working so well. I just moved all my clients over from my last program, and they're loving it. It's just so much more interactive. So as an online process, like as a trainer, it's way more enjoyable because I enjoy working with people. And then for my clients and the people I'm working with, the players, the people, whoever, they're getting what they need, and they're getting it fast. So that's what really matters. Quarantine life with the baby, the only hard part is not really taking them in anywhere. We got to run errands, and it's like, all right, you sit in the car, I'll run inside. Like, the poor kid's not getting to see the outside world yet, but luckily he's only 2 months old. You have to deal with homeschooling. It's a whole other world.
Oh my gosh, we talked about that earlier, and I wanted to have Travis on too, but he's running around picking up tanks to ship out to everybody. But man, the homeschooling thing has been nuts. I'm thankful that we have the homeschooling with the computers and the ability to do it, but it is kind of just like, a lot.
Here,
And
you're a new person now.
Yeah, exactly. My wife has been leading the charge on that front. She's doing a great job, and then Thomas and his family had been doing some homeschooling already. since they went through the fires and their school literally was burnt down. So I got some insight from him, and then Travis sent us that picture the other day of of his kids doing some crafts that involved peanut butter for glue instead of actual glue. So that's
Gotta do
pretty
what you
funny,
gotta
but
do.
it's definitely a lot. But yeah, I mean, Drew was on earlier with his little baby girl, and I said to him, it is crazy when you hear people say time flies when you have kids. They're going to be grown real quick. I have an 8-year-old now. 8. He's
Insane.
watching, I think. So shout out, hey Kaden. But yeah. So I mean, the having the baby at home, quarantined, not really getting to get out and do much. It's right now. He's so little that he's not going to remember any of this.
Yeah. It makes, you know what though, all of this stuff and you know, being a new dad and everything it makes you really appreciate when you can still turn on the gas, like get into that flow state, you know, really buckle down in the workout. Like it's that little bit of time that you get to be in the zone. It feels good.
Yeah. Yep. Someone asked if you do non-paintball or you train non-paintball players as well.
I do. So I train more non-paintball players right now than I do actual paintball players. All of my clients in person are just a huge variety of people. And then I'd say 80% of my online clients are non-paintball players right now. Yeah. As personal training stuff, like I've been personal training for almost 10 years now.
It's a long time.
Yeah. All different platforms. The online stuff's been around for like 6 years. So that's really developed. But yeah, literally anything you can think of. Dietary restrictions, I can write a meal plan. Injuries, I have 1,000,001 ways around it. I have my certification in corrective exercise sciences, sports nutrition. I have a degree in nutrition. The list goes on.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
try to be multifaceted.
Yeah, it was interesting because, you know, obviously you and I talked a little bit about doing like upping your online game before the whole Corona thing even hit. So it was kind of like, well, better get,
Yeah.
you know,
What
ramped
better
up.
time than now?
Yeah, and you already had everything built up, but it was just more like kind of making it a little bit more user friendly, and just making it a little bit easier access for people, which is the name of the game for the online stuff. So
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think it's coming along and it's only going to get better. And definitely, if there's anything that people would like or requesting, I'm sure Greg is taking any of those comments. So
Yeah, and for getting in touch, I mean, it's the same as the website address. trainwithmap@gmail is the easiest way to get in touch with me, or literally any of the social media platforms, either on my personal account or on the Map account. I'm always quick to respond, so any of it works.
Cool. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna shut this down. I think we ran for hour and 38 minutes.
We are not that entertaining. Let's roll.
All right. Well, I just wanted to say thank you to all the sponsors that help support the team. We got Planet Eclipse, ProChar, Bunker Kings, Push Paintball. I got my skull goggles sitting right here. These things are sweet. Everybody has seen these before. But anybody else, First Form, they're going to be checking out the site. We're going to get them up on the site, so you can go on there and see what kind of pre-workout Greg likes to drink. So you can get up at 4 a.m. every day like he does. Oh, and then obviously we got our new tanks. Go check those out at infamouspaintball.com. We have Powerhouse regulators. I mean, they're amazing. You just got to check them out. They have the different lengths, and I like the long extended one, but that's just me. And yeah, pick up a trigger, throw a trigger on your gun, do some snap shooting in the house.
Boom.
Be good to go. All right.
Good
Thanks,
deal.
everybody. See you.